we've seen stories over the last couple weeks of how much we could see. $1 trillion, I think, is the top end of the range of estimates. Would that soak up liquidity so much that you don't see anything going to digital assets?
Well, that could be one of the effects, but I think if you see Bitcoin, a lot of these crypto assets, and why it rallied roughly back in March, and most of the rallies come back then, it's because there are really two markets in crypto assets. There's what I call the crypto natives, and that's mostly on-chain. And then there's the crypto curious, people who go and buy it through Coinbase and then enter the ecosystem, if you will. I think with the collapse of SVB, it reminded the crypto natives of what distrust they have in general institutions in doing the right things. And that's part of the reason why most of the rally happened back then. The Bitcoin recently has been muted because it's still uncertain. Definitely more printing of money is not good for anyone, but in the deep crypto native ethos, they're still trying to figure out just how much and how bad will immediately affect the psyche of people and the sentiment of people. What you really need to do to get another wave of Bitcoin and basically crypto asset buying is to show real utility and development to get those crypto curious people to get into the crypto ecosystem by buying through the, call it the centralized exchanges, and get into the system.
Okay, so as we talk, John, about the idea of Bitcoin going not a lot of anywhere, looking for, a real catalyst, I at the same time am looking at NVIDIA, for example, up another 4% today, now $1 trillion company. I mean, the surge has been absolutely incredible. And this is all about AI. How does that filter in to the crypto landscape?
Some of the analysts have a 1.6 trillion target price. So basically, there's a lot more to go according to those analysts. But reality is, I think AI plus blockchain technology will help each other come to market faster. AI will definitely help blockchain in terms of security and data analysis. And a core crux of making AI better is basically the filtering of data. In fact, there's a whole industry called ETL, extract, transform, and load data, because data comes from multiple sets and it's not clean and needs to be filtered. Ultimately, blockchain is all about strong data, and that can actually help the smoothness of filtering data into the final product in use for AI. So I think both industries can actually help each other in terms of adoption.
And what are you looking at Avalanche Labs specifically when it comes to that?
I'm glad you're asking that, because we're working on something right now where it will allow the average person to basically code smart contracts in a very easy way using simple English. That's one of the benefits of generative AI. In fact, we talked about it at our Avalanche Summit recently, where we want it so that everyone can adopt this and code in basically, Solidity or whatever language is used on the blockchain that not every coder or developer knows. So this is even more powerful to let people with good business minds who have a good idea to effectively code smart contracts without even needing to learn how to code any type of code or learning Solidity.
So we're going to ask in just a minute when we talk to Joshin from Magic Eden about NFTs coming to the Bitcoin blockchain. But this has been a big debate, as you know, John. The ability now to encode text or images onto the blockchain is going to change the game for miners, but a lot of people are against it. Where do you sit?
Well, I mean, look what happened with Bitcoin. Part of the reason it rose was because of the distrust of banking after SVB, but the ordinals on Bitcoin blockchain show some use cases. So that's also, in fairness, part of the rally in Bitcoin. So then, in theory, that's good activity for Bitcoin to help the miners, like you just said. I think what we've been working on that's actually, in my opinion, more interesting is to work with massive brands out there, whether it's be SK in Korea or US consumer loyalty type programs, where you're using that NFT construct and that provenance to engage with brands' users and to create more engagement, to get better spend, and also to collect their data, especially as we enter privacy and awareness for that and GDPR in Europe. These brands want to be able to get their customers, get them engaged, and not having to reacquire through more advertising spend through Google and Facebook on a repeated basis. I think the adoption of real world utilities for NFTs is even more exciting, but I'm going to save that PFP stuff for Magic Eden and your next guest.
Well, I'm just thinking about the problem of congestion that we've seen on, Ether and other blockchains. Is that going to be a bigger concern for Bitcoin? Because, we have seen real slowdowns in transaction times.
So Avalanche, the blockchain that Ava Labs created, is Ethereum compatible. And there's also a bridge between Bitcoin to Avalanche as well as Ethereum to Avalanche. So when those spikes happened recently, it definitely increased activity at Avalanche because the pricing is so much better. We just want adoption. The more adoption for all of these change, it helps us all.